Hello, everyone. In this demo, we will see how we can make a secure request from our ingress controller to application pod if our Flogo application has been configured with a custom certificate. So I have this simple REST trigger application where I have used the custom certificates, which I generated using the OpenSSL utility. These are self-signed certificates. And I have deployed this application on the data plane. I will try to hit the endpoint and I'll get this error. The reason is our every request that we make that get the SSL session get terminated at the cloud provider's load balancer. Then after that, every request that goes up to the application port is an HTTP request. But we had configured our application to use the custom certificates, so it is expecting an HTTPS call from every client. So ingress controller is trying to make an HTTP request, whereas our application is expecting an HTTPS request. So we will configure our ingress controller so that it can make an HTTPS request. So how we will do it, we will see in this demo. I have used the traffic type ingress controller here, for example. So every ingress controller has a different mechanism of configuration. Uh, we will see how we can make the request using the traffic. So the first step is to create the secret using the same certificates that we have used in our application. So the first step is this. I will just create this certificate into my cluster. In I will use the same namespace where my application is running. I have created this secret app1 backend CA. Now, in case of traffic, we create a custom resource definition called the server's transport. So in case of traffic, it determines like how traffic connects to your backend service pods, especially in case of TLS settings and all type of connection behavior. I have already created a YAML for this. I will just show you how the YAML looks like. So this is the kind is servers transport, and I have given a name to this. The namespace should be obviously the namespace where our application is running. And make sure if you are using the self-signed certificate for testing, you add this insecure skip verify as true. Otherwise, your configuration won't work. If you even if you set it as false and you are using the self-signed certificate, your configuration won't work. So make sure you set this as true, and we are providing the secret name that we created using our certificates to this object, and we will create this object in our namespace. Now our server's transport object has been created. Now we will tell our Kubernetes service, which our ingress controller will use to make the request to the application port, that you have to use the secure call. So there are two annotations that we have to use. One annotation is this. This annotation will tell our Kubernetes service that you have to make use of HTTPS call instead of HTTP call. And this is the annotation which will tell which certificates to use which while making an HTTPS request. Since we had created a custom resource called the server's transport, we are giving the namespace name hyphen the object custom resource definition name at the rate Kubernetes CRD. So this is these two annotations we will add in our Kubernetes service. So as we know, when we make the endpoint public for an application, the a particular a specific service get created for the same name. So this is the service that my application will be using. So we have to edit this service. Now I will add these annotations. We have configured our service with the annotations. Now we should be good to make an HTTPS call. Now I'll try to hit the endpoint again. As you can see, my endpoints are now working. Now my ingress controller is able to make an HTTPS request to the application port using the certificates that we configured in our application. So similarly, if I want to use the Nginx ingress controller, there is a different mechanism. I will make the endpoint public using the Nginx controller. And there is a different mechanism. Since we have the secret created already, this is the secret that we had created already, app1 backend CA. So in case of Nginx, instead of modifying the service, we can directly modify the ingress controller to make HTTPS call to our application pod. So these are the annotations that we have to use. We will try to find the respective ingress object for our app. So this is the ingress object that got created for our application. We will edit this. This is the place where I will add the annotations. My ingress controller has been modified. I'll try to hit the endpoint. Now my endpoint is accessible and Nginx ingress controller is making an HTTPS request to my application port. So this is how we can configure our ingress controllers to make the secure call to our application pod. So make sure that this is still not end-to-end encryption. The SSL session is being terminated at the cloud provider's load balancer. From load balancer to our ingress controller, the calls are still HTTP. It is at the ingress controller level that we are configuring, and we are just making sure that every call from ingress controller to application pod is a secure call.